now is the legal manager at Strata G Labour Solutions, Tertius Wessels, to tell us if this could work. Tertius, good morning. Thanks for your time this morning. Now, emails while commuting should count as work, according to some researchers. Do you agree?
To a certain extent, I would agree. Whether or not that time commuting should count towards working hours is a different debate. I think what this research has shown us is the ongoing need for flexibility within the workplace. It's a reality that with the access that we have to technology, mobile phones, tablets, laptops, it becomes easier for people to deal with certain work-related duties and responsibilities outside ordinary working hours, which emphasizes a need for employers to recognize that people are dealing with stuff outside ordinary working hours and maybe accommodate them in other means.
Well, I suppose the lines could get blurry here then if you were to try and accommodate people this way, because then you'd wonder, or bosses could say, but is this not something you could have done before you left the office yesterday, or something that, if it's done on your way home, that you could have done before you left the office today? And then, does it count as work hours or does it count as overtime? Where would it fall?
Yeah, so with overtime as an example, people can't choose to work overtime themselves. We have to remember that companies need to pay employees for overtime work. So it's pertinent that an employer instructs you to work overtime because they ultimately need to pay you, and it has budgetary effects on an organization. With the commuting and recognizing that as part of your working hours, that is very much an input-driven approach by employers to say, I'm paying you X amount a month, you need to give me 195 working hours in a month in order to justify your salary. And I think we're moving away from that in the sense that many employers are focusing on the output rather than the input. And as employees, we recognize, especially when we make use of public transport, that that's dead time. We don't do anything there. A lot of people Facebook, some read, and some choose to deal with their work during that time. And if your work's done at the end of the day and you have an open and honest relationship with your managers, there's nothing that prevents you from going to them and saying, my work's done, can I leave a bit earlier today? We also have to recognize that the way that we commute in South Africa is a bit different than the way in the UK. Yes. And it cannot be expected of employees that are driving their own vehicles to work to attend to work emails, etc., because that in itself creates a traffic offence.
Yeah. Well, I think we can talk textbook work hours, we can talk how it should happen, but how it really happens in the corporate world is very different, even in South Africa here. And I suppose the question would also be, so when does the work day end, if this is if we're allowed to do the flexible thing, if we allow the flexi hours or work from home or whatever, when does it actually end? How do you put a deadline to that? Because I think, was it France or some country recently that said, they said employers are not supposed to contact you after a certain time, you're not supposed to receive any emails. I think it was France.
Yeah.
So where do you say, now I'm done, nobody contact me and we'll sort this out tomorrow morning?
I think your work's done when you know the task or the duties that you were responsible for the day has been done and has been finalized. The reality is that different people in an organization fulfill different roles, and we're not all able to get to our emails during ordinary working hours. If I use myself as an example, you have a lot of meetings and stuff that you attend to during the course of the day. So after hours, you spend a couple of time attending to emails, etc. The fact that I'm sending out emails does not necessarily mean that I'm expecting an immediate response to those emails. It's just so that I know that I've done what I needed to, and the next day whoever the email's directed to can then respond during normal working hours. But there is a reality that in some cases there is emergencies that occur and immediate responses are required on certain things. But that should be the exception and never the rule.
And I think it's also personality driven, Tertius, because I mean it depends on those people who have to get something done. If you're that A-type personality and stuff has to be concluded before you can relax with your family, which means some people might never actually just come down from the workday.
100%. And if you look at it, most people don't have alarm clocks next to their beds anymore. You have your cell phone, that's your alarm clock. So the first thing that you do is access your emails, access social media, and you start working already. You don't shut off, and it becomes imperative for employees to maintain a work-life balance. And the only way you're going to do that is by shutting off and by making time to spend with your family and having the discussions with your employers about flexibility within the workplace.
So it might work for some but not for others.
Yes.
And depends. Thanks very much for that. Well, if you saw that article and you got excited about it, then I'm not sure you decide if it's going to work for you.